Alright, I want to do a video on the progress we're making with the barn to shop conversion. And I am excited to tell you that it's come a long way. So let me show you what we have now. The first thing is no more slide doors. That is just beyond awful. We have garage door openers now. This is wet. We've had more torrential downpours, and don't look at that. That's where I'm still working on the problem with the hydrant pump. I can't ever tell if it's not leaking because it rains so much. It fills up my hole with water. I dig it out, pail it out. It fills back up with water. Anyway, back to the shop. So we had these aprons poured, and this is from more torrential downpour. It actually, the way the floor is, just the way but it was already done this way. It has a slope up. I don't know who would do that, but it slopes up, and so when they poured the apron, it's done correctly. But whoever poured this concrete obviously did not know what they were doing. You would never slope it up at the door. So anyway, we get a little bit only when it rains, like it has been, biblical type flooding. We get water that seeps in here. It stops right there, and I haven't really figured out a way to remedy that, and I don't know if I'm going to. But basically, let me show you some things. Hope I'm not making you seasick. Just overall, it's a mess, but it's a work in progress. We have electrical is finished, so we have plenty of lighting, and we have plenty of outlets. So like I was saying in the other one, there's outlets galore. There's just about every pole except for that one. This one has is going to be a sink, and then there's outlets there. We bought some fans because it is hot out here. It is a shop. Got two high velocity fans, like you see the black one, and then we have two personal fans for when we're out here. But these little high velocity fans, man, those things are freaking awesome. But it's been a lot of work, but it's been satisfying because the end goal was to make this a shop and not a barn. So I think we accomplished that. So just a few of the highlights. I have a fancy note card here. Just to let you know what all has been done here is 650 foot of wire run for the electrical. We got 11 junction boxes, if you know what those are. 15 outlets total were put in addition to the few we had. 3 additional switches. 35 lights are now in the barn or shop. It was 9. So we went from approximately 9 lights at 1500 watts to 34 lights at, I think it's 600 watts because they're all LEDs. But we added one extra light. We have a washroom. It's nice. I hose down my equipment stuff. It's full right now of things. That's a tote that I'm going to use for another project for the garden to collect rainwater. And of course it's in here because it's just out of the way, and that thing's gigantic. But we put a light in here, and it needed just a little bit of light, and that was perfect. It's for wet locations, so you can hose it down or what have you. Not that I'm going to do that, but that's what it's for, and that is pretty much what I use. Like I said, I can hose down my equipment, clean up after myself. The sink that's over here is just run out through the floor into this, and it has this also this drainage here that I touched on in the latter video. It goes out the door and into our yard, and that's just going to be basically for washing your hands, using water if you want to. You know, she wants to have an area over here where she does some potting of plants, that type of thing. So there's water now. When I get the hydrant fixed, which has been going on for months. But anyway, but the water is just what they call gray water. It's not dirty water. It's, you know, hand washing, rinsing things. But that's it. So it can safely go right in the grass, and it's turning out beyond my expectations. I am building some tables. Here's the first table I built. It's for my chop saw. So I just have a little run out board here to help me with my, if you have a long piece of wood, the little backstop isn't very big, and it will not allow it to bind. So I can do, you know, 10 foot, 12 foot, 8 foot, 3 foot, it don't matter, on my chop saw table. So I built this, just reclaimed some of the wood. If you remember in the barn, the entire walls were clad in plywood, because apparently horses like to eat wood, especially when it's in your barn. So you can see we left some of the backboards up that were holding the plywood, and you'll see just this waviness to them, where horses just basically will eat your barn down. So I don't know how well that picks up, but it's just real wavy. And just for an example, they put up things to keep the horses from gnawing, but like this piece right here is just all chewed up. And then in the corner back there, there's plastic, like a PVC pipe that they actually put on the structural part of the barn to keep them from chewing on that. It's pretty crazy. I don't know anything about horses, but except for the fact that we're not going to have any, I do know that. So this was my only table that I was using to do all my work, which is not a table. It's just a makeshift table with some sawhorses and plywood. So I have this. I'm going to build another table here. I'm going to put shelving here. I'm going to put another table here. And then she wants me to build her a table over here by the sink when I put the sink in, or where the sink will be. So anyway, that is where we're at. I still have a lot of things I want to do. Probably will push off the rest of it to winter-ish time, because I have the chop saw. I can still use this makeshift table, and between the two of these, it will be enough for me to build the chicken coop. So I actually have a place to work on things now, and it's wonderful. I'm so impressed with the concrete people that came in and poured the concrete. They did a great job. The people that put in the doors, we ended up getting a third door on the house because ours was broken. So they made a deal with us. If we got all three at one time, that we could get a little better rate. So we needed one anyway. Like I said, ours was broken. So we have this handy dandy remote. I'll have to show you here. It's pretty slick, just because I don't get out much. But this thing has 3 buttons, so I can open and close all 3 doors with just this one remote, even as far away as the house. I don't know if you can see that, but I mean, it's just super cool to have almost like superhuman abilities with this remote. It's awesome. So we got several of these that came with the doors, and I love them. It's so much better than sliding doors that didn't slide very well. didn't matter how much you lubed them, they still sucked. These, awesome, slick. I will say they are, close this because it's bright. I will say these doors here are 9 foot tall and 11 foot wide, and we did that just to make it easier to get Bertha and bigger things in through the entrances, and that's the same exact door that's on the front here, same size. I am speechless. I really am on how much better. You just don't really know how much these little things just make you so much happier. You know, the ability to, like, I couldn't even get the zero turn in this building without going backwards and building a special ramp. And you'd have to tear down the ramp every time to get in here. I just parked it in the garage, and so we just parked our cars around it, and we just have one of those 1.5 car garage, you know, one door thing. So it took up a lot of space. The Craftsman, you know, this one that we've had forever, this we could get because it has bigger tires and it has a lot more of a clearance here on the bottom. So I could get it inside this place, so it lived in here. Of course, the four-wheeler could make it without any issues. But the zero turn, we just kept in the garage, and just, you know, if we wanted to cut grass, you got to pull your cars out. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it's just an inconvenience. The getting the lawnmower in and out, there was like a 6-inch drop between the concrete that I showed you that sloped, that shouldn't be sloped. Getting out was something you had to. We had scrap wood that we just had to, you know, just throw 2x4s and 2x6s and make a ramp to get the lawnmower in and out every time. And then every time you were, you know, you had to build the ramp to get it in and out because you had the slider doors. And so you slide the door open, which took a great effort, then build the ramp, which didn't take a lot of effort, just took some time, drive, cut grass, come back in, disassemble your ramp, slide the door. It was crazy. So this is so much better. I'm going to do a lot of work with mounting tools and everything. I've got my little air compressor here that I just love to death. This little Pancake 6-gallon air compressor, and I have a hose reel up here. And usually you find a shop that has a much bigger air compressor, but I don't need one. This isn't my my job, and I like it such that it's portable. So I can either use it here. I have 50 foot of hose on the reel. It'll reach any corner of this shop to do anything I need it to do, and that little air compressor has done pretty much everything I've needed it to do. I built 2 decks and a fence, a 400 linear foot fence with this little air compressor. You just have to not overwork it to death, and I'm not going to do that. I like to take breaks, so it works out. It's the perfect size for me. But a couple more, like I said, a couple more tables and the sink, and get rid of this makeshift table. Eventually, I did, of course, do a little bit of decorating there and there because I love America, and I had the flags. In fact, my mom sent me the flags to put in here. So I'll do another video when I'm finally done, so that's probably next year. But anyway, just wanted to show you what's going on here. We have a lot of projects going on. Please like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and thanks for watching.